show us a smoky eye tutorial.
Yes. Hi, I'm Ashlee Rice, and I am owner of Let's Face It Makeup Studio here in Midland, Texas. And today I am going to show you a smoky eye tutorial. You always want to do your eyes first, okay? And the reason to do your eyes first when you're doing your makeup, you want to apply the makeup first because you do not want fallout from eyeshadow falling onto your face and mixing with your face makeup. One of the best things that you can do to keep a smoky eye, any eye that you do, but definitely a smoky eye to help it go on more intense and to keep it from creasing and fading, is to use an eyeshadow base. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my ring finger. You always want to use your ring finger because that has the least pressure point in your hand. So it actually tugs least at the eye. And I'm just doing a very thin layer of eyeshadow base from lid to brow. The two most important parts of the eye are the eyebrow and the inner rims of the eye. The reason being, I call those two of what I call the lines of the face, okay? Whenever you define the brow, you're giving it an instant lift. And you don't want to do any eye makeup without defining this part of the face. A smoky eye can be done in any color, and it can be worn very, very soft. My philosophy with makeup is to enhance more than it is for the person to look like they're wearing a ton of makeup. Lauren has sat through this many a time with me. I did her wedding, I've done her makeup many times, so she's not jumping out of her chair and watering everywhere like a lot of people will tend to do. But as you can see here, look down, I went up underneath the rim with a black gray pencil. I love a black gray because for during the day, it's a little softer than a black, and with brown eyes like hers, it's gonna help make them look a little more amber. When you look at her eye, you can see how much more it stands out from that side to that side, just from the definition that I put up and underneath here, okay? Now, whenever you fill the eye in this way, you're making the lashes look thicker at the base, and you're also making the edge of the eye stand out, the actual shape of the eye. I'm going to use a matte gray eyeshadow on Lauren. The purpose of a smoky eye is to really frame the eye. It's not necessarily to put a ton of eye makeup on, it's to go in and frame the actual eye itself. So what we're doing here is we're framing this area, okay? I'm going to use this palette that has beautiful neutral colors. There's not really a wrong or a right when you're doing a smoky eye. In Lauren's case today, I'm going to use a gray. Now, let me show you something here. Let me see your hand. If y'all can zoom in on this. When you're dealing with brushes, I get this question a lot about brushes. When you're dealing with a smoky eye, you can see this brush right here is called a mini dome brush. It's got precision, it's very precision point. It's concentrated. You can do very direct, precise makeup application with a brush like this. When you're dealing with doing a smoky eye, you really want to use a brush like this. And see how it just kind of packs the color on. So I'm going to show you guys this with a brown. A more compact brush is going to put the color on darker. A softer brush like this, see how this one's really soft and it's a tapered crease brush. The softer a brush, the softer the color's gonna go on. So here you've got the same color, but different brushes, okay? And I'm filling in the lid. Smoky eye really does not have to go above the crease. Open your eye for a second and look at the camera. This is the lid, close your eye. This is the crease. The crease is the natural crease where when they open their eye, open your eye, where you can see the crease, okay? You do not necessarily have to take the smoky eye above the crease. And that's the problem that a lot of people have. They want to take their smoky eye way too high on the eye. And when you're doing a smoky eye, you want to make sure you're filling in this skin. Sometimes you even have to lift the skin up a little. You want to make sure you don't see any skin right here where the lashes hit the eye. A daytime smoky can just be smoking the lid. You don't have to, look up for me, you don't have to come down here and edge this off. That's depending on the person's mood and perception of makeup, everybody's perception of dark and dramatic is different. I'm gonna go back in her crease using the same taupe powder that I used in her eyebrows. So I'm using very few products to create this look. I'm using my awesome blending brush right here. It can be a shader brush, but it's great for blending. It's just a big fat poofy Jane Iredale brush. And I'm running it through my Oyster highlighter. I like to go in and almost edge the highlight right up under that brow. When you're doing a highlighter, you're basically lifting the brow, but you're also using that highlighter to softly blend down over what you've done. Now that is a soft, smoky daytime eye. And this is where you can always go back and add. And I'm taking my black gray pencil and I'm running it about, not all the way across, about 2/3 across the bottom of the eye. And then I'm pulling it up around. Now, I get a question a lot from people, and that is, how do you keep your eyeliner from running? Put it on and set it with a powder. It's just like setting your face makeup with a powder. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna set the creamy pencil with the smoky gray eyeshadow. And now what I've done is I've edged her eye. And so now when you look at it, it's a little bit more. I always like to go in and add a highlight through here to open the eye up. We have these, I'll spray myself so you guys can see it. We have these awesome setting sprays in my line that I sell, and you can set your makeup with them. You can wet our 24 karat gold powder with our setting spray. Look up for me. And so whenever the light hits her, it's gonna reflect off of where light is light. Highlighters reflect light. So her eyes won't look too closed off, and it'll just kind of open this area up a little. And once again, I'm cleaning up the fallout that would have otherwise mixed with your face makeup had you done your eyes first. So another question I get quite often is false eyelashes. We're gonna go ahead and put the false eyelashes on Lauren. I've used, I'm using a black fringe, kind of a fringe lash. This is definitely a dramatic lash. I don't do this on a lot of my brides. I do this on a lot of boudoir photo sessions and fashion photo shoots that are more dramatic eye makeup. So this kind of lash really complements the smoky eye. I'm using a latex lash glue, and I just squeeze a little bit on the back of my hand. I mean, you can go in, close your eye, and you can clearly see that that is just too long for her eye, okay? Most lashes need to be trimmed. So I go to the outer corner and I usually cut off about 1, 2, 3, 4 little sections in, and I take off about that much average. And I'm just put a little bit on there. And the longer that it sits on your hand, it starts to get tacky, and that's how it's gonna stick. So you gotta let the lash glue stick. Now, a lot of my clients do have difficulty putting these on themselves, but once they are on, they just make you feel, I mean, it seriously is a mood changer when you know you have false eyelashes on. I don't know if it's because you just feel like you're like, wow, and you're just like lifted. I don't know what it is, but lashes are magic. So there we go.